This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Thank you, David. Welcome to DBL. It's Wednesday, September 1st. We are in September. I am Tori here with Al and Erica. Let's get started. Labor Day is just around the corner, but the CDC is asking unvaccinated Americans not to travel this holiday weekend. They're also saying those who are vaccinated should seriously consider the risks and travel with precautions. So right now, and this is a number that's hard to understand, there are around 160,000 new COVID cases popping up every single day. So write us in about your Labor Day plans. Have they changed? How are you feeling about this? We'd love to hear from you. Well, we've recently talked about fake COVID vaccination cards on the black market, but now people are getting busted. A New Jersey woman who went by Anti-Vax Mama, kind of on the nose there, on Instagram, allegedly sold several hundred fake cards at $200 a pop to people in the New York area. And get this, for another extra $250, another alleged co-conspirator would enter your name into New York State's vaccination database. That's the system used to verify someone's vaccine status. Meantime, this woman was busted over the weekend for allegedly using a phony vaccine card to travel to Hawaii. The fake card had a pretty bad typo, misspelling Moderna as Moderna.
That's okay. You know, that's a.
Oh man!
That was.
Guys,
it looks like she just watched a Tyler Perry movie and like that was on her brain. She was closer to. She was much closer to Medea.
For sure.
You know, Erica, we're laughing, but this is serious.
Yeah.
I mean, if I had a restaurant and you know it had been shut down because people were getting violently sick, a couple of people had passed away, and then I just faked one of those, you know, A+, you know, and then kept business open.
Right.
What would be the penalty for that?
I have an answer.
And that's just, you know, food poisoning, worst case scenario. What are we talking about here?
Yeah, it's especially alarming because there were medical professionals, healthcare workers, who also apparently got these fake vaccine cards. If anyone needs to be honest about their status at this point, I would think that that would start there. There was this video that went viral, I believe, last week, and it was a gentleman who has gone viral for a lot of his truth takes. But this was specifically about the fake vaccine cards, and he was talking about, he was the one that really exposed this woman. At the end, though, I thought it was so interesting because he kept saying, people keep talking about the breakthrough cases of people who are vaccinated but are still dying of COVID. But it makes me wonder, are they really vaccinated? Or have they just paid the additional $250 in order to appear that they are?
So the data's all skewed.
Right. So this goes so deep, and for all of the, misinformation and the back and forth from all of these experts that are out there on social media, this is a very serious thing. If this wasn't such an important document to have, then why are people going through such extensive measures in order to pretend to have it?
Very good point. Now, here's what I did, a little research. I was wondering, what's the penalty for that, like you said? And the Department of Justice has said that if you do violate the logo, which is the CDC logo, which is a federal logo, that actually is a crime that could face you 5 years in prison or $5,000 fine. Now, they don't do that to everyone, but if people knew that and they did enforce it, perhaps we might be seeing people stop. We also know that of all the 15 people that you said of the anti-vax, the woman who made the fake one, all 15 have been charged now with felonies. Oh. Does that make you feel better?
I guess so, but we now have to track down, all the people that they sold those to and all the people that they were now around. So now she's created however many hundreds of new hotspots and possible infections, and a lot of those people probably went out and went to work. They needed those for a reason. So they got on a plane. They went to a hotel. So think about the fallout from this one person. Yeah. So this is, again, I'm not for jailing everybody, but there have to be some serious consequences when we're talking about people's lives here.
Yeah, if you're contagious, it's not a choice. This is life or death at that point, I agree. All right, how would you feel about losing your job or getting kicked out of school all because of your vaccination status? So rumors were swirling yesterday that Patriots quarterback Cam Newton was released from the team because of his vaccination status. But today, Patriots coach Bill Belichick is saying his vaccination status had nothing to do with it. Cam did miss 3 practices due to breaching COVID protocols. Meantime, the NFL Players Association has opened an investigation into Jaguars coach Urban Meyer for saying there's a player's vaccination status factored into the team roster decision. And get this, Virginia Tech has unenrolled 134 students who did not submit their COVID vaccination documents. That's according to a university spokesperson. Erica, what are your thoughts?
The Virginia Tech thing, because I'm not exactly a NFL X's and O's person, but let's talk about school, because this bothers me. All of these institutions of higher learning did not give any discounts for students enrolled during the pandemic. So the idea that they would not allow there to be an either online learning component or something to allow these students to continue on as normal students doesn't sit well with me. Where was the discount last year? So offer an alternative this year.
That's fair.
Yeah, well, I'm not an NFL X's and O's guys, but I am an NFL. I'm a sports fan lifelong. And, let's take the Patriots first and talking about Bill Belichick and him saying that Cam, who did not have a good season last year, did have COVID last year, which again, and this is a bigger discussion, there were a lot of great players that got COVID and really fell off the map. I mean, almost lost their starting jobs to backups because they were so bad, which is very strange. But Cam didn't play well. His job was in jeopardy anyway. But whether it was or not doesn't matter. Bill Belichick cannot say for legal reasons that we are cutting him because of this. So he has to say, whether it's true or not, that he's not being released for COVID reasons. But Cam was kept out of a game, kept out of practice this week because of a COVID mix-up, whatever that means. They're using these weird terms that make you make that face, a COVID mix-up.
Yeah.
And so he missed 3 days. So a COVID protocol mix-up. So a lot of these things that we're seeing, are starting to spill over onto the field. They already have. And as for the Jaguars, really quickly, with that coach, I'd like to hear your opinions. You have a team involved. You have trainers. The NFL team has a couple hundred people around it. Can you take the risk of having one player get everybody sick. Being that here in Denver, we saw a professional game last year where they had to start a quarterback that was like bagging groceries at Safeway, and he was like playing in the game on Sunday because they were out of players. So I mean, this affects people's jobs. A 10-6 and a 9-7 season, everybody in the coaching staff could lose their jobs. This is a big deal. One game is a big. There's only 16.
I think Urban Meyer, I agree with him. I don't have a problem with him saying everyone should get
Do you
back.
think it's constitutional?
I do, and I've been saying that for a while now. It's already passed in the Supreme Court with the Jacobson case. You know, George Washington made his entire army get inoculated against the smallpox and quarantine. It's very part of our, inoculations are part of a responsible, civilized society. We've done it before with measles and mumps. All of this has been passed. So to me, I just wish the NFL made it a blank statement. To those of people who can get the vaccine, I do know that there are medical exceptions, and I want to make sure we address that. All right, you got to see this feel-good video. Will Smith, isn't he the best, huh? Surprised the actor who was cast in his new Bel Air family as the new Will.
It me?
It's not you at all. No, your Uncle Phil, as the new Will in the Fresh Prince reboot. Take a look.
I want to say congratulations to you. You have the role of Will on Bel Air.
I'm ready.
So how do you feel about that?
I think it's the very appropriate choice. I didn't see who else auditioned, but it made sense to me from that clip.
It felt really good. The energy was good. What do you think?
I mean, when you saw that kid, it was just like, I'm sure the producer just stood up and high-fived when he walked in the audition room. Like,
everybody else, you're out of there.
I mean, he looked, even when he said, I'm ready,
And he
he
like
kind
went-
of said it with a Philly kind of accent, which was very hard to pull off. So
I interviewed the person that cast Will Smith in the Fresh Prince of Bel Air, and I said, did you know from the very start Will Smith would be like amazing? And he already done stuff, but he was like, from the very first word, everyone on set was like, oh, he was just magnetic.
Yeah.
So I hope this kid has the charisma, because there's something very special about Will Smith.
that's right, next generation.
Next generation. All right, let us know who you would dream cast as Will Smith?
Me.
Okay. Coming up on DBL, actress Taryn Manning tells us all about playing a Karen in her new movie, and Piers Morgan's road to redemption. Does he deserve to get his job back?
Closed captioning provided by
His last name, the guy who got Will Smith, Jabray Banks is his last name.
The kid that was cast.
Yeah, as Will Smith.
I always feel like, is
Thanks.
it wrong to call people kid? If like he's 18, he is a man. But I'm 44. And I'm not saying it to be,
Ask Lydia, she's like a zygote. You're like, how old are you? 29. Do you feel weird if we were like, hey kid?
yeah, but 29.
No, that's old.
She's not old, but she's like,
She's not.
an 18-year-old must look at me like I'm one of those trees from, what was it, The Hobbit? That was walking.
Like all gnarled.
Yeah, just like so.
He's like Gandalf.
So yeah, I don't know, but yeah, I do try and, my girl's really good with me. Well, I'll be like, who's the girl that played that woman? The woman that.
Yeah, people are interested in that. Let me know if you guys are 18 or if you have kids, if they'd be annoyed by like girl as opposed to lady.
Oh, okay.
Or woman. Like, I don't particularly love when someone's like, hey, I got my. Here, I don't care actually.
And
I don't
actually,
care
Tori,
actually.
I'm just hearing from the booth that that the young man that was cast is from Philly.
Oh, so he's got the accent too?
It's
Philly
such
cred? I don't
it's
have it.
Such a unique accent. That's the really cool thing about the East Coast is like
Yeah, when he goes,
the
I go
Baltimore
home.
accent. The Baltimore accent
I
is
phoned
different
my
from the
home.
Providence accent. Yeah,
I found my home. If you watch Mayor of
Delaware.
Easttown, they have that very interesting O's and A's, and unless you can do it perfectly, you can tell. Kate Winslet fakes it really well in Mayor of Easttown, but she's like, I gotta go home tonight and get my hoagie.
It's really
Sounds
difficult.
right.
If you ever, that was okay. If you ever watched The Wire, how good they are.
Baltimore
with
is crazy with. I live in
It's
DC. They have a very Baltimore, and they've got weird
Baltimore.
O's too.
Yeah,
It's interesting. O's and A's are interesting. I went to Michigan, and they go, "Where's the A at?" And the A is very flat, and there's a distinction between that and Chicago.
If you look at like the whole East Coast, going from South Florida all the way up to Maine, like how different the accents are.
The dialects go
going
crazy.
Through South Carolina, like
absolutely.
Really
Louisiana has an incredible arrangement. Yeah, my friend is from
the
Louisiana.
French influence.
That interesting Creole.
Welcome back to DBL. That's the name of our
I like
show.
Double.
I like Double too. Welcome back to Double. Believe it or not, Piers Morgan is asking for his morning show job back. Now, if you don't remember what happened or there's been too many incidents, here's what happened. He got in serious trouble for saying he didn't believe Meghan Markle during her Oprah appearance, then walked off the show. Here's a refresher for you.
And I understand that you've got a personal relationship with Meghan Markle, or had one, and she cut you off. She's entitled to cut you off if she wants to. Has she said anything about you since she cut you off? I don't think she has, but yet you continue to trash her.
OK, I'm done with this.
No.
Sorry, no. Sorry.
So, do you know what? That's pathetic.
You can trash me, maybe not my
No.
See you later.
I'm being...
Sorry, can't do
This is
this.
absolutely diabolical behaviour.
Remember when you said he couldn't find the door?
He couldn't. He did one of those things where he didn't know how far the door was, so the dramatic walk-off, he was like, man, this is way further. I should have sat on the end today.
Keep going. All right. Well, Piers was forced to quit after over 50,000 complaints were received. But today, a British TV watchdog group is saying no rules were breached and actually backed his right to challenge Meghan. Now, Piers is asking, can I get my job back? So DBL Nation, what do you think? Should he get his job back? Go to dblvote.com to weigh in. Erica.
Well, I think it's appropriate that a watchdog group is backing him because this is a total dog whistle. Piers Morgan was not fired.
He quit, right?
He quit. And the idea that, because people didn't agree with him and actually pushed back, there's a reason why so many personalities, journalists, public figures on their Twitter will say, my thoughts are mine alone and do not reflect the thoughts of my company. Because that's saying, this is my opinion, I am entitled to my opinion, but that also leaves you open for other people to be entitled to counter you on that
consequences,
opinion, or not like that opinion.
Right.
So really what he's crying about right now is his inability to handle the backlash, which is so ironic for someone who has made themselves a professional troll over the years.
That's my point.
Professional
This was
troll.
what he wanted. Look, yes, were there 50,000 complaints? Yes, but there were probably 50,000 people saying, say that, you know what, Piers, could preach. And it's so weird that you build yourself up to be this person that's very conservative and to the right, and I like to say it like it is. And he said it like it was. He took the most polarizing figure, I'm sure, over there in England, which is Meghan, and went after her, which I'm sure 50% of the people feel, if not more. But then when he got some pushback, a slight pushback, on a talk show.
It was the truth, Al.
But
it was the truth.
Doesn't matter.
No. It does matter. It does matter because if someone's like, Al, you know what? You're a terrible father, and you're this and that, and you're like,
I hear that every morning.
That's my truth.
Right.
But if someone digs deep and hits you about something that you're sensitive about, and that's all we're talking about here. This man said to him the truth. He's upset that Meghan Markle did not bow down and kiss the ring and think that Piers was something special. Piers needs to understand that he's not the 25-year-old still got it guy. Somebody wake him up and let him know. He's still shocked that she would choose Harry over him, which shows you how delusional he really must be. He is hurt to the core. That dog was hit so hard he has not stopped hollering since the day Meghan left after that martini. Don't miss me with this.
Love it. All right, let's get the polls. You have 72% of you say yes. Should Piers get his job back? 72% of you say no, excuse me.
No, I think you nailed
28% of you say yes. I nailed it. That's so good. Also, I didn't know this is cool now, as Erica showed us.
That was cool when Piers was young.
I love it. Coming up on DBL, our interview with actress Taryn Manning. This is a good one, guys. What does she think about playing a Karen in her new movie and all that backlash? Chatting with the stars is coming up next. Stay tuned.
Hurricane Ida Ida made landfall 16 years to the day after Hurricane Katrina devastated southern Louisiana. It immediately prompted comparisons between the two storms, like this tweet with 1,500 likes claiming Louisiana has never seen a hurricane as strong as Ida. So let's verify. Did Ida make landfall as a stronger storm than Katrina? Our sources are NOAA and KHOU meteorologist Tim Pendages. NOAA issued this update as Ida made landfall Sunday, warning of 150-mile-per-hour winds from the Category 4 storm. In 2005, Hurricane Katrina made landfall as a Category 3 with winds of around 125 miles per hour.
The difference with that, Katrina had a much larger wind field, therefore was able to impact a larger area.
In contrast, Ida's worst winds were concentrated in a narrower area.
Those areas within 20, 30 miles of that storm center were getting whacked with 150-mile-an-hour winds. We had gusts over 160, 170.
So it's true. Ida did make landfall as a stronger storm than Katrina. However, a hurricane's category only looks at wind strength. Katrina's size caused a much higher storm surge and more severe damage. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Welcome back to DBL. We've all heard the phrase, she's a Karen. Well, now there's this controversial new movie that shines light on the Karen epidemic. And earlier, we spoke with the star of the movie, Taryn Manning. That's today's Chatting with the Stars.
Wait a minute. We have a white entitled neighbor named Karen.
Karen. Okay, enjoy yourself.
There she is, slaving away in the kitchen. I've come across some very suspecting teenagers.
Suspecting?
Can you please hurry up? Please, they're very aggressive. Yep.
Please welcome to the show, Taryn Manning.
Yay!
A lot of anticipation for this movie. In it, you play Karen, but you said no to the role multiple times. So what was your biggest fear with this movie? Why did you say no multiple times?
It wasn't a fear. I mean, so much like, I love taking roles. It was just the consequences and sort of the backlash of me taking this type of from just other human beings that can't seem to control their thoughts, AKA Karens. So basically, like, I just, I was very conflicted, like I said, but I had to end up taking it. But yeah, there's been a lot of backlash.
So, Taryn, let me ask you this. In your research for this role, was it one Karen specifically that you were mimicking, or was it a potpourri?
It was a potpourri, because they're all around us.
Well, before I get to my question, I have to ask, did I see a tractor DJ kit behind you? Do you DJ? I thought I saw some turntables behind you.
You may or may not have. Good job.
Oh, cool. She's a well-known DJ now.
It's Denon mixed with Serato, but I do have native instruments too, which is tractor. So I guess you DJ as well.
I do, but I'm sure, one of the editors here, he showed me how, and I absolutely love it. What do you spin mostly?
Oh, God.
Music.
There you go.
All right, well, let's get back into the reason that we are here. Unfortunately, it's not just DJing, it's this role, and you've gotten a lot of backlash for this role. Who are the people coming for you on social media, and like what is like the basic genesis of why they're so mad?
The people that have come for me the hardest are other white women.
Wow.
They feel that I've given people of color, Hispanics, and other people the authority to go around and abuse white women. So, my own other white privileged awesome women are turning against me because they feel that I've given some type of like entitlement. So I'm like, first of all, is a Karen. You don't know me, you don't know anything about me like that, and no one will hurt you like that, So it's just been very conflicted because it is our job. We do have an overhead, and we were trained to do this type of stuff, but we learn as we go, and there are consequences in playing these types of roles. So I know, I realize that.
That's a nice responsibility. Thank you for that. We have a producer on the show, Taryn, named Karen, okay? But she's a really good Karen. We love this Karen. Is there any chance this movie will end this Karen pandemic so she can get her name back in good graces? I don't think so.
I mean, like I said, she can always add a Y to it. I mean, maybe she can add a C.
What a cutie. That's what she did. What a smarty.
I mean, my name's Karen. My mom's name is Sharon. It's like, you know, it's just a name, you know. I don't even know how this name got, you know, this exact, you know, signature on it. But yeah, she can always add a little, maybe go as her middle name. I'm sure they have a great middle name.
There you go.
Exactly. Taryn, thank you so much for joining us today. Everyone out there, make sure you check out Karen, which will be released on September 3rd in select theaters and streaming. I cannot wait to watch. It is so relevant. You keep doing you, girl. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye,
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
This image of dogs in cages has gone viral on social media, with claims military service dogs were left behind in Afghanistan when the U.S. military evacuated from the country. Since the Taliban took control of Afghanistan 2 weeks ago, there have been a number of misleading images shared on social media, claiming to show current events from the country. So let's verify. Does this photo show U.S. military service dogs left behind in Afghanistan? Our sources are John Kirby, Pentagon Press Secretary, Eric Pahone, spokesperson for the Department of Defense and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Pentagon Press Secretary John Kirby tweeted, "The U.S. military did not leave any dogs in cages at the international airport in Kabul, including the reported military working dogs." He says the photos online show animals under the care of the Kabul Small Animal Rescue, a nonprofit helping evacuate animals from Afghanistan. The DoD confirmed in a statement to verify that the dogs in the photo are not U.S. military service dogs. Rather, they were the responsibility of private contracting companies. He says no U.S. military service dogs were left in the care of KSAR. According to KSAR, they weren't able to secure transport for the animals in their care because of a new CDC policy. The CDC says they issued a temporary suspension for dogs imported from high-risk countries for dog rabies, like Afghanistan. But in a statement to verify, they confirmed the CDC worked closely with the DoD and DOS to issue permits for the evacuation of all government-owned working dogs per the agency's requests. The dogs under KSAR's care are not considered government-owned working dogs. So we can verify, no. This photo does not show U.S. military service dogs left behind in Afghanistan. With your Verify, I'm Ariane Till. To receive daily fast facts to your phone, text Verify to 202-410-8808. And to sign up for our newsletter, visit verifythis.com/email.
Welcome Welcome back to DBL. This week, Hurricane Ida left devastation along the Gulf Coast, and scammers are taking advantage. We're chatting about it in today's Bang for Your Buck, presented by The Hartford. So according to the National Center for Disaster Fraud, fake impersonations of officials is a popular scam. But here's some tips to keep you safe. First, federal and state workers always carry ID badges, and they never ask for money ever. Next, there are 0 fees when applying for government disaster assistance. Last, consider a credit freeze or set up fraud alert on your credit cards. When it comes to your money, the Hartford Financial is here to help. Whether it's home, life, or business insurance, the Buck's got your back. Call 1-800-683-7108 or visit thehartford.com to learn more. I can't stand those people.
Well, people have to, just be vigilant. Trust nobody. That's really what
that's what Erica always says.
But it's factual, and it saves you a lot of time on the phone.
I did want to get this in. I'm trying to find out where Devin Coleman wrote your reaction to Piers Morgan about the hollering dog, the wounded animal. Said that speech just now was one of the best takedowns I've ever seen. So cathartic. Ha 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 ha. We'll see you next time. Same place, same time tomorrow. Bye, guys.